Good morning, Ohio. It's James Ernest of the Grueling Truth Radio Network here with Otto Von Clutch. Otto, thank you for joining us today.
What's going on, everybody? As James has said, my name is Otto Von Clutch, and this is the Grueling Truth Podcast. We're going to cover some topics today, so just sit back and relax and get ready for this weekend, Dallas, because it's going to be a lot of fun.
Excellent. I was going to say, before we go into the big event of the weekend, because I'm looking forward to covering that, we want to let our listeners know about you. What sports did you play growing up?
Sports growing up? I really didn't play too many sports. I mean, a lot of surfing, a lot of skateboarding, but I was never part of the football team or nothing like that. I mean, I played football in high school or whatnot, but never like on the actual team. I've always been just a die-hard wrestling fan. And in 2014, I started my training at Knox Pro Academy with WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi, also WWE legend Gangrel, Counts of California, Black Pearl. So, I mean, I just never really did too much sports in high school.
So it sounds like you've learned from some of the best. But going back to the sports, you mentioned surfboarding and skateboarding. I mean, those are sports, X Games, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I love it. I love surfing. It's a great release. My character is kind of based off of the surfer, basically myself just magnified. But, yeah, man, I mean, surfing is like a sport, but, I mean, I consider it more like a hobby. When I think of sports, I think of, like, football, soccer, rugby, I don't know, something more physical. Surfing is such an independent sport. It's such a, just yourself, the water, the board.
You mentioned falling in love with professional wrestling. When did you do that?
Oh, man, that goes back to just back in the Attitude Era, 1997, 96. Just growing up, man, and watching the Attitude Era and just falling in love with wrestling that way. Stone Cold Steve Austin, of course, probably captivated a lot of young children's minds back then. And, I was one of those children, and I love wrestling, man. All aspects of it, I enjoy it so much, and to be a part of it is just an honor, and I just want to carry on the tradition of, just being a wrestler, and I take it very seriously. I take what I do very seriously, because, you can get very, very hurt. So, this to me is not a joke. This is not a hobby. This is who I am. This is my lifestyle. This is something that I've been training for my entire life, I feel like. Just not even knowing it, though.
Exactly. I know what you mean. Sometimes people go, oh, that looks easy, I can do it, but there's a big world of difference between what you all do as professionals and what you see on the internet sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. It is very grueling. I mean, anyone that's gone to a reputable wrestling school knows that the training is just brutal. This is not no backyard thing. This is the real deal, and basically, you got to have a lot of passion and a lot of heart, and if you don't have it, you have to just scoot on over and let the next guy or the next woman in.
So who trained with you? You told us you were trained by Gangrel and Rikishi, which is phenomenal, but who was there? Who was learning with you?
Oh, man, Jacob Fatu was one of the first that comes to mind. He was part of my class. Holiday, another independent performer that has gone on to do some good stuff. Those are the two big names that kind of stick out for me that are, people that are part of my class. I'm probably missing some other ones. I just can't think of it right now. But Jacob Fatu and Holiday are the two. And, of course, actually, I'm sorry. And then I did train with NXT star Vanessa Bourne.
Nice. So some good classmates, some fellow alums. Excellent. So who have you wrestled for?
Who have I wrestled for? Man, I wrestled for quite a bit of people. Back in 2000, I think it was like 16, I kind of branched off. Not necessarily branched off from Knox Pro, because my heart is always there, but just doing other performances and different promotions. Bliss Slam is one that I hold dearly to my heart. That's in Oakland. Before the pandemic, every Friday they were running shows in Oakland, so I was going up there quite frequently. And WPW, Brian Kendrick, has promotion down in Burbank, California called Wrestling Pro Wrestling. So I've wrestled for Brian Kendrick's promotion quite a bit of times. And just really, all over there's promotions in Salt Lake City I've wrestled for, some in New Mexico, Texas. I mean, they're just all over the place. So just whatever really stands out to me, the ones that stand out the most is going to be Hood Slam by far. I mean, if you've never seen Hood Slam, you should definitely check it out. They have a Twitch. They have a YouTube channel. Hood Slam is a lot of fun.
So which of your matches is your favorite?
Man, it's hard to say. I mean, I've been able to, team up with Gangrel in Hawaii in the tag match. That was a lot of fun. Really, one of my another real favorite matches. Specifically, the wrestler Rikishi. That's always a lot of fun. And it's such a proud being in there with them. It's being able to learn. Like, there's so many things to learn from their trainers on the road and whatnot. And I'm trying to think. I mean, there's just so many. My favorite match now, which I feel like I'm so premature into my career. It's hard to pick a favorite match right now.
I think you went into a tunnel.
You might as well. I don't want to be in the tunnel. You don't want to be in the tunnel. Can you hear me now?
Have you moved anywhere?
No, I'm right here in the same location.
Okay, that sounds better. Yeah, I was going to say, unfortunately, we missed that story about Rikishi and Gangrel there in the tag match, but...
Okay, I can start over. Sorry about that, guys.
It's okay.
So, yes, my favorite, I'd have to say my favorite match right now is it's very hard to pick. I've had to be able to team with Gangrel, and I've had a lot of matches with Rikishi. Basically, though, it's hard for me to pick my favorite match this early on in my career. I mean, it's only been 6 years, so I feel like to say this is my favorite match, I feel like that's kind of not being super humble. So I don't have a favorite match, really. I mean, every match I have, I consider it like a task, and I take it very seriously. So, I mean, you're only as good as your last match. So my last match was against a guy named Eric Watts and another really talented guy. He does Kia Murray. He does like a Keenan and Kel type of all that character. So, I mean, how I say, you're always good as your last match. So, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say which my favorite one is.
So, what is the best thing currently with professional wrestling?
The best thing currently with professional wrestling, I'm going to have to say, is coming up this weekend on the 28th and 29th at the NYTEX Sports Center. I think, wrestling has kind of been on hold, and I think that right now, at this event and at any event, I feel like right now that's going on, the performers should be at their top. I mean, we've had so much time to rest. This is, wrestling is not like a football where you have your off season. There's no off season. So I feel like, just talking about it, I get chills and goosebumps running through my body. I feel like if you're not, going to give it 200% at the next performance that you have, just get out of the way, because there's so much talent right now out there. I mean, the talent pool is just undeniable. I mean, we can have multiple plane crashes with performers, and you're still going to have so much talent. Let's just be honest. The talent pool is just outrageous. So right now, to be a professional wrestler in the current state of wrestling, I feel like it's very special. And I feel bad. My heart goes out to the guys, the girls, and the young men and women that just barely, are just starting out. People that are just barely going to a wrestling school. I can't imagine how that would be to start wrestling right now. Like for me, I can't fathom that. I know what the state is right now. I know what I know, and just basically, I mean, it's gnarly, man. So the current state of wrestling to me is very magical. It's going to be a make or break. You're going to definitely weed out the weak ones, and the cream always rises to the top.
Excellent. So before we go into the big event, the Independent Wrestling Expo, we want to give our listeners a chance to find out more about you by giving out your social media, your website. What do how can they learn more about you?
Oh, it's pretty simple. On Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. I mean, it's Otto Von Clutch. OTTOVON. Figure out the rest. I mean, Otto Von Clutch on all platforms. You could type my name into Google and boom, I'm going to pop right up in your face.
That is awesome. I was going to say, when you say double T there, of course someone comes to mind, but that's not important. Let's see. So, who is Fighting Words? Who are Fighting Words? What is Fighting Words? Tell us about them.
That is a promotion, I believe, out there in Dallas that I'm going to this weekend. They're putting on this major wrestling event. I believe probably the biggest event of 2020 in all of wrestling. It's crazy because it's just, you can tell that I believe that, AEW, they're now going to start doing, shows with audience. I feel like with this, was kind of the kick in the butt that all the other promotions needed. They saw, okay, wow, these guys are doing it, and it's on a big stage. I mean, this weekend is going to be huge. It's a major thing. I mean, people have been just waiting for entertainment, and I feel like they can come out, they can kind of forget about the world, forget about their problems, and we're going to put on a hell of a show. It's going to be nonstop action. I mean, it's my first time working with this company, with this promotion, and I'm very excited. I have a very big opportunity with the NWA Battle Royal number one contender shot, so I take that very seriously. There's a lot of guys that, including Hulk Hogan, or, just to name a few, there's tons of guys. And the list of people that have never been able to do that is another big list. Just to be able to have an NWA shot, even though it's a battle royal, not necessarily saying I'm going to win that. I mean, I go in there planning on winning that battle royal, and the next night I could be in the NWA title shot range. So it's a big deal to me. This is probably the make or break moment. This is it. This is the big one.
That is a huge Cinderella story that could change the way people look at professional wrestling. I agree with you. So we have 2 nights of the Independent Wrestling Expo. The great thing about it, I understand there's going to be all kinds of things besides just the wrestling, autographs and lectures and all kinds of great ways to interact with some of the legends, the present, the past, and the future of professional wrestling. So you mentioned your match. You're in the Battle Royal. That's in night 1. Do you have a match in night 2?
Yes, I have a match night 2. I believe it's going to be a triple threat with a guy named Double D and a guy named Cody Lane. It's going to be a triple threat. So we'll see how that goes. It should be a lot of fun. I plan on going there and just doing what I always do, pound some fans, drop those guys on their faces, ride my waves, the success, and drop that elbow on their back, drink their spine, and have a good time.
Now, of course, you are so confident. I can tell that you're like, that match is going to end up just turning into a regular match, obviously, because when you're put into the other triple threat match, the one you really belong in the main event, right?
That's the way I see it. There's actually a guy in the Battle Royal. His name is called King Mo. If you're not familiar with King Mo, he is a bad one. I mean, this guy's a tough dude. So I'm going to have a plan where I'm going to go in the back in the locker room. I'm going to find all those guys that are in that battle royal, and I'm going to say, that's the guy that needs to have the target. Normally you go into a battle royal and everyone wants to take out the big guy. Not in this case. In this case, I basically want to just take out the smallest guy, King Mo, because that dude is a freaking beast, a champion, and it's kind of scary a little bit, but I'm not going to let that intimidate me. So, Kimo, Otto Von Clutch is coming for you, Brock.
Awesome. So, of course, the event's being held in Texas. Where can we get the tickets?
Tickets are going to be at a beautiful link. You caught me on the, you just totally irate me on that one. The tickets are going to be NYTEX.com, NYTEX Sports Center. You look up NYTEX Sports Center on Google, and you will find out right there. They'll have a link, and I feel bad. I do not know where we find tickets for this event.
That's okay. Neither did Snoop. So, so with watching the event, if you're not there in Texas, how can we do that? Can you give me? I'll give you a fighting chance to answer that one.
You know what? While you were answering your question, I found out that it's at Tix.com. That's where you find tickets for the Independent Wrestling Expo at Tix.com.
Tix.com for that. And then, of course, Fight TV. You can watch it. You can watch it live. I mean, it's going to be an amazing event. It's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime event, kind of a historical event, bringing all those groups together. We are so excited, and we have definitely enjoyed having you on the show, Otto Von Clutch.
And I didn't even know that's on Fight TV, so you just kind of smartened me up on something right there. I had no idea.
That's all good, buddy. We definitely enjoyed having you on the show, and we wish you the best of luck in the Battle Royal and your triple threat match, whichever one it may be.
Hey, thank you so much, guys. guys. Thank you for having me. Go catch the clutch. This wave has been automatic. Yabra cadabra. Figure out the rest. Go to Tix.com, get your tickets, and I will see you all there.
Excellent.